Control and coordination. 1-mark questions. 1. What tissues provide control and coordination in animals? Answer. Control and coordination are provided by nervous and muscular tissues. 2. Which specialized receptors are responsible for detecting taste? Answer. Gustatory receptors are responsible for taste detection. 3. Which receptors are used to detect smell? Answer. Olfactory receptors detect smell. 4. In which part of the neuron is information first acquired? Answer. Information is first acquired at the dendrite, or dendritic tip. 5. Through which part of the neuron does an electrical impulse travel from the cell body? Answer. The impulse travels through the axon. 6. What is the gap between two neurons called? Answer. It is known as a synapse. 7. At the end of the axon, the electrical impulse sets off the release of what? Answer. The impulse triggers the release of chemicals. 8. Define a reflex action. Answer. A reflex action is a sudden action taken in response to something in the environment. 9. What is the name of the pathway or connection between an input nerve and an output nerve? Answer. This pathway is called a reflex arc. 10. Where are reflex arcs formed in the human body? Answer. They are formed in the spinal cord. 11. Which two structures constitute the central nervous system, CNS? Answer. The CNS consists of the brain and spinal cord. 12. What is the main thinking part of the brain? Answer. The forebrain, cerebrum, is the primary thinking area. 13. Which part of the brain receives sensory impulses from receptors for hearing, smell, and sight? Answer. These impulses are received by the forebrain. 14. Which specific part of the brain is responsible for maintaining posture and balance? Answer. The cerebellum handles posture and balance. 15. Involuntary actions like blood pressure, salivation, and vomiting are controlled by which part of the hindbrain? Answer. The medulla controls these involuntary functions. 16. What is the function of the cerebellum? Answer. It ensures the precision of voluntary actions and maintains posture and balance. 17. How is the brain protected from mechanical shocks? Answer. The brain is protected by being contained in a bony box and a fluid-filled balloon, cerebrospinal fluid. 18. Which bony structure protects the spinal cord? Answer. The vertebral column or backbone protects it. 19. How do muscle cells change their shape to cause movement? Answer. They change shape by using special proteins. 20. Why does a sensitive plant, Mimosa pudica, fold its leaves when touched? Answer. It folds its leaves as a response to touch, which acts as a stimulus. 21. How do plant cells change their shape if they do not have specialized muscle proteins? Answer. They change shape by adjusting the amount of water within them, causing them to swell or shrink. 22. What is the movement of a plant part toward light called? Answer. This movement is called phototropism. 23. Define geotropism. Answer. Geotropism is the upward and downward growth of shoots and roots in response to gravity. 24. Give an example of chemotropism in plants. Answer. An example is the growth of pollen tubes toward ovules. 25. Name the hormone synthesized at the shoot tip that helps cells grow longer. Answer. This hormone is auxin. 26. Which plant hormone is primarily responsible for the growth of the stem? Answer. Gibberellins are responsible for stem growth. 27. Which plant hormone promotes cell division, especially in fruits and seeds? Answer. Cytokinins promote cell division. 28. Name a plant hormone that inhibits growth. Answer. Abscisic acid is a growth inhibitor. 29. Which hormone is responsible for the wilting of leaves? Answer. Abscisic acid causes leaves to wilt. 30. Which gland secretes the hormone adrenaline? Answer. It is secreted by the adrenal glands. 31. What is the target organ of adrenaline that leads to a faster heartbeat? Answer. The target organ is the heart. 32. Why is iodine necessary in our diet? Answer. Iodine is essential for the thyroid gland to produce thyroxine. 33. Which hormone is produced by the thyroid gland? Answer. The thyroid gland produces thyroxine. 34. What disease is characterized by a swollen neck due to iodine deficiency? Answer. The disease is called goiter. 35. Which gland secretes growth hormone? Answer. The pituitary gland secretes growth hormone. 36. What is the result of a deficiency of growth hormone during childhood? Answer. A deficiency leads to dwarfism. 37. Which hormone is responsible for the changes seen in boys at puberty? Answer. Testosterone is responsible for these changes. 38. Which hormone regulates blood sugar levels? Answer. Insulin regulates blood sugar. 39. Name the organ that secretes insulin. Answer. The pancreas secretes insulin. 40. What mechanism ensures that hormones are secreted in precise quantities and at the right time? Answer. This is managed by a feedback mechanism.